Okay, so essential questions 2.5, creating and solving compound inequalities. So we're going to write a compound inequality, show the levels that are within each range, then graph the solutions. So here's an example. An iguana needs to live in a warm environment. The temperature in a pet iguana's cage should be between 70 and 95. So we've already done some of these things. So if you look back at 2.4, remember back to that speed limit is 75. Speed is 75, that sign. We were talking about, well, how fast could you go? And he told me the max was 80. And then how slow could you go without getting pulled over? And he said probably around 70. So we only gave it a 5 mile per hour difference. You guys remember this? And then we said, oh, we're talking about speed. So I'm going to use the variable s and put it in the middle. So we said for s and 80, we made a visual and it said, okay, 80, can you go higher than 80? No, that was your max. So we go to the left and we made this one. Then for 70, we said, okay, how much can you go there? So we made a circle here and we said 70, you can go to the right. You could go 75. So it was this way. So the arrow would go like this. Can it be equal to 80 and 70? Yeah, so I would have to shade in the visual, this graph, and put bars underneath. Okay. So if you want to copy this, try to copy it to the side because this isn't the bio example. I'm trying to just give you a review. So if you want to copy it, you do not have to. So now I would just take this and look at S and 80. This one's really easy. Just write it the same way as over here. On this one, think of it as an arrow. What is it pointing at? The S or the 70? 70. Don't be so angry, okay? So now it's pointing at the 70. We want it to still point at the 70 and then put the bar. And this is how you would write it as just one compound inequality. Remember we did all that? All right, so that's what we're going to be working on in this section for compound inequalities. You do the first step, second step, and then you combine it in the third. So basically it's like doing 2 problems from the last section and then combining it into the new way to write it for the third. Some of you are glaring at this like you're angry. Don't hit me, I'm only the messenger. All right, let's try this one. An iguana needs to live in a warm environment, so I'm going to read it one more time. The temperature in a pet's iguana cage should be between 70 and 95. What's bigger, 70? Or, sorry, what's smaller, 70 or 95? 70. So I'm going to put 70 first. I'm going to put 95 over here. What's the variable you want to use?
T.
T for what? Taco? Temperature. Okay, so we're going to use temperature. All right, now we're going to make 2 separate problems. We're going to do T95 and T70. This part is your training wheels. Okay, you would not have to do this if you feel confident enough and know that you got the right answer, but these are your training wheels to help you out to write it from here to here. So go to 95, put a circle. Can it be 95 or no? If it's between 70 and 95. Is 95 okay for the temperature in the cage? Yeah. So we're going to shade it in. Is 90 okay or 100 for the animal? 90. So we're going to put it to the left. Ready for magic? Yeah, you are. All right. Put that arrow. Go to 95 and copy it. And we said it was equal because we shaded it in. So put the bar. Now 70. Go to 70. Circle it. Can it be equal to 70? Shade it in. Okay. 75 or 65. Which one would be good for the animal? 75. So make an arrow here. And now we're going to have it to where, what am I thinking? Okay. Ready for magic? I almost forgot my favorite part. Luis is ready. Karen's ready. You ready? Are you? No? Okay, I'll just do it. Jeez. All right, and we closed it, so you're going to put the bar. Go ahead and take these now. The first one, T95, or the second one, this one is the easiest to do because it's just copying. So copy this and then put it over here. This is where you have to say, is it pointing towards the T or the 70? What do you think? Is this pointing towards the T or 70? 70. So over here, you want to make sure it still points towards the 70 and it still has the bar. Now we're done with this. And we're going to go back here and we're going to clean up the graph a little.
Shouldn't it be less? Shouldn't T be less than 95? Oh, no.
Don't question my authority ever again. I'm just kidding. Any questions, guys? No? Okay, now before we finish this up, we want to clean up the graph a little bit, the visual. Okay? So, can 80 be an answer? Yeah. 85? 90? Anything in between. So, basically what happens is, I'm going to erase this to show you a little bit better. So what happens is, I had it at 70, and it goes over here. I have it at 95, and it goes like this. So only where it overlaps, and we had it to where they were both equal, so I got to shade this in. Only where it overlaps is where I want an answer. So I'm going to erase this part because they don't overlap. And this part, they don't overlap. So only where the red and blue overlap. So my answer only is this part here. Now on exams, they would make it even nicer. They would just pick 70 here, 95 here, and then they would put your bar like this, and that would represent that. So it wouldn't be as colorful, it would just look like that. Any questions? No? Okay, for part 20, try to figure out how you would graph that. So go ahead and try 20. It's similar to 17. So you have about 2 minutes to do that.
Do we do like all the work like how you did it earlier on 17?
Yeah. I would stick with the training wheels. If you want, call it something else. The assist. So it doesn't sound so kiddie.
I don't like this.
Okay, well, you figure out what you like. Okay, so the cruise control function on Georgina's car should keep the speed of the car within 3 miles per hour of the set speed. So let's underline that. 3 miles per hour. The set speed is 55 miles per hour. Okay, so we got to talk about what the relation is. So what would be the maximum if you have it on cruise control at 55? What's the maximum it could go up?
58.
How'd you get that?
I added 3.
Added 3. Good. So we said 55 plus 3. 58 would be the maximum. What would be the minimum? 52. What was the variable you picked?
Speed.
S. So this shows you exactly what it would look like. So you have 52 here. You have 58 here. And then you got to figure out what your answers are in between. Is 53 an answer? 54? 55? Yeah, all of these? Okay. So you have S58, S52. Now at 58, would I point to the left or right? To the left. Okay, so the arrow would go this way. So ready for magic? I'm not going to do it if you're not ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, he's ready. Okay. Can it be equal to 58?
Yes.
Not Okay, so put a bar.
2 bars.
Why 2 bars?
Just put on for the bar.
Well, we're not there yet.
I was just hitting it.
No. Don't ruin endings. No one's going to want to take you to the movies. Okay, 52. Can it be can it be equal to 52? Okay, good. Shade it in. Which way is it pointing? Right or left?
Left. No, right.
Okay.
I'll see about real now.
Alright. Was that Karen? That was you? Good job correcting him. Do that more often. Alright, so you go to the right, go to the left. Nothing. I thought that might have been too mean. You could take it, right? No. Oh no. Alright. So now we have this. Go ahead and translate it over here. So less than or equal to 58. Greater than or equal to 52. Alright. Did I do it right? Anyone but Luis. He's answered too many. Does this look right to you? Good. So this was where the error was. This one's fine. But here, you have greater than or equal to 52. You want to still do that. Greater than or equal to 52. Okay. Now go back to this one. We're going to clean it up. We don't want to just have arrows like that. So you're just going to connect them because that's where they would overlap. Hopefully your line is straighter than mine. There we go, that's better. So what this says is 52 is an answer, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. But since they don't overlap here, these are not answered. Yeah.
So if those you know how you shade in the circle? If it wasn't shaded in, then it doesn't matter if you pass.
Right. If it's not shaded in and it looks open like this and went through, then this would mean that 52 is not an answer, so that wouldn't be an answer.
So it just means it's either 53 through 57.
Yeah, 57 or 58 unless this was open also.
I thought you can go like that one too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be like 51 as the answer too.
No, because
The other way around.
that would mean that it went lower than 52. So it can't go lower than 3 miles per hour. Good. Let's clear that up. Any questions? No questions? Is this all right? Pretty easy? How's it going with this? So-so? Okay. Water is not a liquid if its temperature is above 100 degrees or below 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, show that. Go ahead and answer it the same way. Okay, when you're doing 21, if you found out that this isn't the similar kind of answers where you have 0 and 100 here and it's in between, then that's good. This wouldn't be the right answer. So what this is before, when it's in between, this is another way to visualize and even write down what you guys have done in the past in like elementary school. You guys remember Venn diagrams? When you had like something A, B, and if they both had that in common, so like person A, person B, if they both have black hair, everything that's in common would be shared in that circle. You guys remember that? So this would be the in-between look. So you would have, like the previous problems, that's where it looks like this. Now, on this one, when you have the circle, person A, person B, this one has it to where you're saying this or this. So you don't care about what they have in common. It's just this or that. That would be more like this one. So let's go over that and we'll see what it looks like. So you have a temperature above 100. So go to 100. You guys pick T, 100. And now we're figuring out the inequality. Would 120 make sense or 80? Which one's above? 120. Draw your arrow to the right. Ready for magic? No? You guys better be ready for it. Ooh, tough crowd. All right. I'll just take that as a nod. Okay, can it be equal to 100? No, it has to be above. So we're going to leave this open. And this open looks like that. There's no bar underneath because it was open. Don't yawn. All right, now for 0 degrees, it says below 0. Go to 0. Can it be equal to 0? No. What makes more sense, -5 or 40? -5. So we're going to go to the left. Are you ready for magic?
Yes.
Luis is always ready for magic. Always. So this one's T0 and it would be less than. So it should look like this. Now, if you notice for the Venn diagram, this would be where it has it shaded on this side, and you're missing in between. Okay. So now let's put it as one long statement. What is what is the smaller number, 0 or 100?
0.
There should be more people than that answering that question. What's smaller, 0 or 100?
0.
Still Luis. What's smaller?
0.
Now only Luis. I heard Karen last time. What's smaller, 0 or 100? What is wrong with you guys? What's smaller, 0 or 100?
I want to see who would say it if I did it.
Huh?
I want to see who would say it if I didn't say it.
Yeah, it slowly went down to 0 people now. 0 or 100, what is smaller?
0.
Raimi, what's smaller, 0 or 100? What's smaller, 0 or 100? 0. Okay. Okay, we can do it. What's bigger, 0 or 100?
100.
It was still Luis. It was only Luis. Okay, everyone, ready?
100.
Now you're just angry. All right, so we have 100 here, and then our variable was t. We write this one the same, t and 100, so this is greater than. How should I write t less than 0 over here? Greater than. So it's pointing towards the t, make it still point towards the t. Good. Do you guys remember Venn diagrams? Those circle things? Yeah? Circle things? Yeah, I'm very academic. I know my stuff. Alright, so x minus 5 is less than 3. Now we're moving away from applications, word problems. And we're going to actually graph it by solving it algebraically and then just graphing that. Which isn't too bad, right? Did you guys finish these?
I did 5.
Okay, let's do 5 together and then
6.
you could do 6.
That one
6 confused you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm only going to do the first part of 5. You do this one. So you have x minus 5 less than 3. How do you solve for x?
Subtract 5.
No.
From both, no. Add 5 from both sides.
You have subtraction, so you're going to add, inverse operation, add 5, both sides. X is less than
8.
8. So have 8, circle it. Okay, Jonna, what should I do to the right or left? What makes more sense? 9 is bigger, 9 or 7 for this statement? Okay. So let's plug it in. Is that true or false? Remember, this wants to eat the bigger number. Okay, so this is false. Plug in 7. Is that true? Yeah, so 8 is the bigger number. This is true. So you only want to shade to the, or put the arrow, the true statements. So put an arrow like that. Now you guys have to solve this one. Go ahead and do that now, and then we'll move on to 6. So once I see an answer from everyone's paper for that second one, then I know we can move on. Everyone. So add 5 both sides, and you get 3 greater than or equal to x. 13. I don't know what happened. 13. There we go. Thank you for catching that. Now 13, we're going to do what? Go to the right or left? What, now you guys won't talk? You'll just correct me? Okay. And shade it in, right? Because of the bar. Now, before we move on to this one, I want to show you that you could have wrote these two equations as one equation. So you would have x minus 5 in the middle. And then what's bigger, 3 or 8? 8. So you'd have 8 on the right side. So 3 would go on the left. And now it's pointing towards the 8 here. It needs to still point towards the 8. Pointing towards the x minus 5 needs to still point towards x minus 5. So you could combine it, and then it would look like number 6, and solve it the same way where you add 5 to both sides. So this would give you 8 greater than x, which is greater than or equal to 13. And these are the same as that.
You're still doing 5.
Yeah, I'm still on
I thought
5,
it was
sorry.
6. I was like, how?
So I'm doing 5 this way because 6 is that way. So they just wrote it differently. So on 6, it's written like this. But I could have wrote 5 that same way. So over here, to solve this, all you got to do is subtract 7, not from both sides, but all 3 sides, and then work it out.
I subtracted from only one side. So
Okay, so try that out. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. If you finish that, turn the page and see what's next, and if you can work on that. So read through that part, and then go to the next one.